Yay!
I think so.
Morning, Fluffy Muffin. Morning, Leo. Thank you for being our mod and keeping chat in check.
Yes. So, should lower that. Right, anyway, so we're going to talk today, as you probably saw from the thumbnail, about buying from auctions.
Yeah.
And any hints and tips that we have for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now car boot sale season's finished. Morning, Tommy. It's probably a good idea to talk about things like auctions and, you know, alternative ways to source some stock that isn't just charity shops, because we know they can be a bit hit and miss.
Yeah, and so there are other avenues that you can do for sourcing. The charity shops, the jumble sales.
Yeah, but we did mention all that in our last video, didn't we?
So, but this is going to be specifically about any auctions, and so we'll give a bit of background really to start, shall we? So, oh, hang on, Tommy Trade says love the t-shirt.
Which one, me or Alexis?
But yeah, so we have been buying from auctions probably since just after we started this, really, because we discovered by chance, actually.
Yeah, we were away for the weekend, weren't we?
Yeah, and that was a program about buying toys from an auction house, and the way they sort the toys and the way they sell them and stuff, and we were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We didn't know about this auction. So we actually, I think, went and had a look at their upcoming auctions, and realised there was a lot of stuff that we would be interested in. And at the time, it was Star Wars, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of Star Warsy stuff. But the programme was called Scouting for Toys.
Yeah, it was Scouting for Toys.
And I don't know if you can watch it on Catch Up, but it's really good. If you're interested in toys, selling toys, collecting toys, that's a good one to watch.
It is really. And there's a lot of, I think, advice and information about the toys that they sell as well. So that was where we kind of started it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, we had a few shifts in what we were selling.
So keep things fresh.
So there was Star Wars to begin with, and I think we really kind of went absolutely nuts buying loads of Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Which we would repair and clean and do anything that needed doing.
Yeah, and we learned a lot about it, didn't we? About the different kind of, you know, or I'm not going to bore you with it because as bar the poll, no one's interested in action figures. Broke my heart.
So Tommy has said Scouting for Toys. Is that a YouTube channel?
No, it's
no. Oh, okay. So it's a program. It's a series. The auction house itself, which is called Vectis. Basically, sorry, Leo's just put that the cat is watching as well. But anyway, so they do have a YouTube channel, and it is called Vectis. So you can go and you can see the upcoming auctions and anything they have in those.
But I think Scouting for Toys was on UK Play. I'm not sure if you can get it on Catch Up or something like that, but it was really good.
Well, you can on, I think you can get it on, Smart TV.
Yeah.
There is the option to
it's all fancy. Not like my day, we had 4 channels.
Yeah. Back even before that, when there was 3 apparently, which
that's before our time, wasn't it?
Yeah, that sounds rough, doesn't it? But yeah, so then it was Action Man stuff, and we started a website off the back of a lot of stuff that we were getting from them.
Yeah.
Which was fine, and there was some Lego, I think, at one point as well, and all that kind of thing.
But what we do is we buy a big bulk. They sell items individually, like for the collectors, and then they sell items in bulk. So we buy a big box of assorted figures with accessories and stuff, and then we'd sort it out, clean it, fix it if need be. We did have a guy locally who would fix the Action Men for us, because I'm not very good with things like that.
He knew how to restring the heads, didn't he? Which sounds painful, doesn't it? But he knew how to take apart take the head off and put a new string in there and all sorts of stuff. So he knew that. He knew how to, reflock.
Yeah.
Which also sounds slightly painful. But
that's just putting the hair back
the hair back on and the beards.
If you're
some
not
of them
an
have
Action
a beard.
Man
Yeah. So that's where we started, and obviously now it's because that particular auction house is based quite far from us, so that's up north.
Tyne and Weir.
Stockton-on-Tees.
Oh, I was close.
Which is up north. So basically that's quite away from us. So we didn't at all get to go and look at the stuff. So, we kind of, I think, took a gamble the first few times. The gamble paid off. Okay, so Fluffy Muffin says, love a good flocking. Indeed. Don't we all? But yeah, so what was I saying? Hang on.
Sorry, morning, Dave.
Yeah, morning, Dave. All right. But yeah, so we took a gamble on the first lots of stuff that we got, really, because we weren't viewing the things that we got. But then I think we discovered a more local auction house, probably round about the start of the year, I think, this year. And we were able to go and view it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just stop a second? Because, sorry, Tommy's asking, how much does the cost per item come to when doing this method? It depends, Tommy, because it depends on, if you're buying in bulk, you can have rubbish bits in there, but you can also have something that's worth £40-50. So if you even it all out, it always, it works really well. It worked really well for us, didn't it?
It did, yeah. And obviously, well, we'll get onto all this stuff. There is fees and stuff involved, so bear that in mind. Take that into account. And I would suggest having a max bid. Yeah, don't go too mad with your bids.
Yeah.
Because you will end up paying up probably well beyond what it's worth or what you can get profit from. So first off the bat, some auction houses, they have a specific website. So they have their own website that you can go on and you can register with them and you can bid. Or there are sites available where they are sort of... just distracted a bit by the chat there. So basically they have websites like there's Invaluable and Sale Room where all these auction houses are collected in one place, and these websites store any card details or payment details that you have. Yeah. And they will automatically take payment sometimes if you do have that set. Now, I made a mistake, I think it was a couple of months ago. I do buy autographs, and I bought an autograph.
Betty Davis.
A Betty Davis autograph, which I had been looking for, a good one on a good photo that I wanted. And I found one and bought it. And then I went in, I was all like, I've got to pay for this, and paid for it through PayPal. And then they automatically took the payment too. Yeah. So just bear that in mind, because I hadn't been on there for a long time before this and completely forgot how the system worked. So I was, just went a little bit mad with kind of, paying for this because I wanted it. And then had to, arrange with them to get refunded. But they were good. They did refund. And a lot of these auction houses, like, they can be, there are some that aren't so reasonable, I have to say. You will, if you are looking for stuff, you will figure out which ones are better than others, like a lot of things. But they are quite reasonable about little mistakes that you make, or mistakes they make as well. Because we did buy some consoles from an auction house, and they posted, it was over 4 boxes, so they posted 3 boxes and the 4th one was missing, but they were really good about it. And I emailed them and just said, it says there should be 4, we've only got 3, what happened to the 4th? And they actually had forgotten to send it.
So we had it within the week, didn't we?
It was easy, it was pretty easy to kind of just work things out with them. And so some auction houses, this will be trial and error though, to be fair. We know some of the ones that we like buying from, and we also know some of the ones we don't. I have had instances with them on a personal collector level in the past where they have not been very reasonable about some purchases I've made. I haven't received anything. There's been a bit of a fight with them to get refunds. Not to put you off auction houses, but you will find out that it is like literally anything else. There are the really good ones. And when you find a good one, you have a tendency to stick to it a bit.
Speaking of which, if you haven't subscribed, you found a good one, subscribe.
You found a reasonable channel, I suppose, in the main. But anyway, so basically you have apps which put, or websites which put all of these auctions under one thing.
But the thing with Invaluable and what's the other one called? Sale Room.
Sale Room, yeah.
You can look for it. You can go in the search term, and if it's toys you're interested in, you can search for toys, or you can search for pottery, or whatever really. But not all auction houses will offer postage, so it's always good to check that. But if you press the drop down box on the auction house, it will tell you if they offer postage, or if you have to arrange your own courier, or if they don't offer any of those services at all. So it's good not to be caught out in that regard.
Yeah, we skipped ahead a bit there.
Sorry.
So I would say that basically, like, if you can get to an auction house to view, is to go and do it.
Yeah.
And the local one that we have near us, we can get over there when they have their viewings. Now, be aware that they are going to have viewings at certain times of the week at usually small windows of time you can go in. But they will have those available. So you can go up, you can have a look at the auction, you can actually pick things up and you can have a proper look at them so that you don't end up having to buy blind and end up going home with a load of rubbish. Yeah. Although there is also the opportunity to request condition reports as well, actually, from these auction houses. And that's usually fairly straightforward. There is normally a button on the website, you press it, you request the condition report. You can ask them specific questions as well, because I bought a guitar once and I did ask very specific questions about some of what I thought were imperfections on the photos, and about, whether, because it was electric, so does that work, doesn't it? Can you let me know? And they let me know, and it was all absolutely like, this is the condition of it. And because I bought it, and then when I got it, it was exactly as they said it was. Yeah. There are, like I say, there are the slightly more reputable ones, which you will get into the swing of which are the reputables and stuff like that. So they will kind of, they will be really open and honest about all this stuff as well. But yeah.
What does Tommy say?
Every
time I do a bundle deal, I part through, categorise everything, so all Thundercats together, Power Rangers, and anything random or odd that's low value. Yeah, we do the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. What's it called? Tooting my own horn, blowing my own trumpet. But I do know quite a lot about action figures, and I do have quite a lot of resources about how to find out the accessories and stuff. So. Send me a message if you want my knowledge, Tommy. I won't bore everyone. I'm dying to do a live on action figures, but no one's interested.
You could just do a video on it.
I could do, but no one will be interested. I'm a massive nerd when it comes to...
When I did that Lego video, do you know what? Like, I didn't particularly think it would be of interest to, anyone, to be honest with you. I think you said to me, put it out between our normal videos, just in case, and it actually, I think it did pretty well, to be fair, just as well as some of the other ones. So these like how-tos and these talking about things, actually they can do well. They can do well, so I wouldn't be put off doing an action figure one.
Well, Tommy says he'll watch it, so I'll have one viewer, so that's good. Anyway,
so back to the plot, what there is of it. So local auctions, I've put just go and have a look.
That's what I was going to say about local auctions. It's if you can go and see it definitely, because you can get a condition report, but there might be some gems if you're buying in bulk. There might be some gems hidden in the bottom of that box that you're not going to know about unless you go and have a look. Because the amount of times we've been to these auctions, had a rummage through the boxes, we're like, oh my god, that's worth loads of money. So if you don't go and have a look, you're not going to know.
And when you look through them, it's almost when you find that thing that's worth, or you know a bit more about that particular thing, and you find it, and you look around as though you are stealing from them. Say, do I actually put a low bid on this? Because if I win it at a £5, I'm gonna, it's kind of like, oh my god. But sometimes they don't always know what they've got.
Well, a lot of the stuff the one that we go to is house clearance, so I think they just divvy it into boxes, and you just bid on the boxes. Really.
Yeah, they seem to do that a lot. And sometimes you don't know what you've got in there, because you might spot something that you think, wow, that's worth it. But then when you actually, you get it home or wherever, and you start looking stuff up, you realise that one thing that was what you... the one thing that you thought was well worth it there's actually something else as well, and that's worth even more. So sometimes you do get really, really lucky with it, with the stuff you don't know anything about.
Because I remember buying it once from Vectis. I brought a big box, like a big, what, the banana box type thing, of Action Man accessories, and in there was a tiny little medal, and it was the what's the green one? The green beret medal, and we sold it for £150. This tiny medal.
Crazy, yeah. So it's sometimes what you can't see in the photos. Yeah. So yeah, if you can go in
exactly,
and have a look,
Fluffy.
then...
Cross your fingers that.
Yeah.
Maybe hide it.
And sometimes you do end up bidding up a bit more as well, because I know I got some Gucci 1970s Gucci salt and pepper shakers, and they are in the shape of quails.
Sorry.
Basically, I saw them, I looked them up, and I realised they were well worth getting. They haven't yet sold, however, but, they are still hanging around. I think they're on Etsy at the moment. However, I think I bid up to about 80 on them, because I knew that even at 80 quid, because that was with the fees included, I was going to end up being able to sell for more from what I could have researched, what I could sell for more. Yeah. I mean, one of the things I'd say is electronic items. Just be aware that some of the places you go to, obviously open any battery compartments, have a look while you're there. We will be telling actually a good bargain that we got at the end here and a bad bargain, and the bad bargain is very much to do with this kind of stuff, really. Is open a bad bargain.
A bad bargain.
Contradiction in terms, but basically, like, open battery compartments of it and have a look, and just be aware that if you're buying electronics, you are probably going to get that home. It might not work, so you might be looking at the spares and repairs value of something.
Yes, only pay up to spares and repairs.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm really sorry, I said I wouldn't do this, but Tommy's just said that he's had a load of Action Man G.I. Joe accessories. Tommy, are they for 12-inch figures, or the 3 and 3/4 inch?
Oh, well, the little mini ones.
Are they? Yeah, are they the little ones or the big ones? Because I can give you resources for both. Or you could just send them to me.
For free.
Even though I've just told you that one Action Man medal sold for £150.
Yeah, you might have a few bits of gold in amongst that lot, really, I think. So basically, fees get added when you buy at auction, for both the buyers and the sellers. So if you are someone who's got a collection of stuff and you're looking to sell it onto auction, be aware of that. They will take the fees from you.
About 25 to 30%, isn't it? Fees sometimes.
Yeah, not as 100, and it does vary. To be honest with you, from auction house to auction house, some can have a much lower fee than others, and I think isn't it called? Oh God, what is that? Parity or something like that. Something like that, where you only pay as much as the floor pays, or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I never heard of that.
So I don't think you get an online fee if you're buying online.
I have no idea, to be perfectly honest.
But anyway.
We digress.
We digress. So, you would be paying fees. So just when you are setting your max bid on some things or something specific that you want to buy, you want to buy, then just be aware that you are going to end up paying a bit more than your maximum, and take that into consideration. Yeah. And the postage.
If applicable.
Yeah, if they are going to charge you for postage, which a lot of places, they do offer postage.
And it can be quite steep. Vectis is quite good, isn't it? They're quite fair, and you can see the postage prices before you win an auction. It'll say small, medium or large, and then you just click on their website and it tells you exactly how much you'll pay for that. So that's I think that's quite good. But some of them...
It's transparent, put it that way.
Some of them you'll buy something and then afterwards you'll be hit with that's £60, please.
Yeah.
So it'd be cheaper to drive and pick it up.
So that leads us actually quite nicely onto the next one, which is that some offer postage, whereas others, you have to arrange your own courier to pick them up.
Yep. And I've done both.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah, and it's better when they have in-house postage, because they, Vectis, this is not sponsored, but they wrap things so well that
You get free packing.
You get free
materials
packing
out
for
of
about a
them,
month.
actually,
Yeah, there's so much bubble wrap and packing peanuts and everything, isn't there? And our cat likes packing peanuts. He used to try and eat them because he's an idiot.
Yeah. So we had to make sure that there weren't any loose ones hanging around anywhere because he would
Packing peanuts,
try and
not
crunch
cats.
him. Yeah. Any loose cats out of the box. Yeah. So yeah, some offer postage. But yeah, because some will help you arrange a courier. So what you can always do is you can pay, essentially, you pay them the money that it would cost for them to get the courier to pick it up. They wrap it for you, they send it for you. So there's all that kind of stuff that they can do, and some simply expect you to arrange your own pickup, so your own courier service, or for you to go collect it yourself, and that's the expectation.
Yeah.
And be very aware of this, that if you do buy something and you go in there and you rush in because you really like the look of something, and then you are stuck with having to go and pick something up and you've bought it from, say, somewhere that is miles away. And
the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, and you can't reasonably get to that place, then what is going to happen is if you think, oh, you know, I won't bother paying for it, I can't be bothered. It's not like, I mean, I know on eBay, right, if you don't pay for stuff, you get a strike. Well, with an auction house, you can get blacklisted. And so that is the problem. And they will not just blacklist you from their auction site, they can blacklist you from loads of other auction sites as well. And so you can get yourself in a pickle that if you rely on auction houses and you win one lot and you can't go get it, then you need to get that picked up. Yeah. You need to arrange something,
or at least message them, and you know, if there's extenuating circumstances, you know, speak to them.
I mean, quite frankly, I think my my absolute tip for that would be maybe if you are able to do this, because they might not want you to do this, pay for it and then tell them you want that to go back into auction. Like, you know, if they would do that, if they are reasonable enough to do that for you, is say, I'm going to pay for this, but I want that to go back into auction, you know, so that you don't have to.
Yeah.
Maybe. Ooh. So, yeah. Buying stuff from other countries on auction.
Very expensive job.
Yes, it is, yes. One of the things that I once bought, I won't tell you what it was because it was a bit like, well, I don't want to. So basically, I bought a bit of memorabilia. Right, we'll call it that. I bought a bit of memorabilia. It wasn't rude.
Way dodgier than it was.
Yeah, it wasn't rude. It wasn't pornographic, right, or anything like that. It wasn't dirty. It's just weird, right? So, I once bought this this memorabilia, and I paid for it. It was from America, so I paid for it, and they arranged for me for a courier to come pick it up. They wrapped it, they shipped it, and then when it got this side of the transaction, I ended up having to pay a hefty amount in import tax. And that's another thing is take into consideration you're going to have to pay the import fee as well if you're buying from abroad. And when I received that, it was not a huge item that I actually bought, but it was because it was in a presentation thingy, so it was in like a case, Perspex case. And it was that Perspex case that actually made it so expensive. Yeah. It wasn't actually the item itself. So go figure, really. Yeah. I mean, but just bear that one in mind. And they will send reminders out for the import tax. And they will keep sending them. So like, where do you get them? Like FedEx, I think you get them from.
I think it was FedEx.
Yeah. So you get reminders from FedEx. Now, if you then don't pay the import, it will just go straight back to where it came from, and then you'd have to arrange it all over again. Mm-hmm. Really?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So bear in mind you are going to be paying extra fees on top to that effect.
And I mean, if you buy in to sell, I would leave abroad alone because the postage it just would wipe out any kind of profit.
Yeah, it would really, to be honest.
Now chat has gone really quiet. Are we boring you to tears, or does everyone asleep? Is anybody there?
It's fine. We will interact a bit more with you towards the end because we have just got some funny stories. And hang on. Tommy Trays was chatting to the missus. As long as the missus is watching, this is what I'm saying.
Yes, from her own channel, so we get another person.
So some auction houses, they're more for collectors.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so they are more expensive, and they know exactly what they have, and they know how to market these things towards the people who really, really want them. And I think it was in last week's live, or it was one of them, where I said about basically I once went on, I think it was a collector's auction for vinyl. And there was a particular LP that I wanted to get, which was Mad Season's one and only album that they released. And it was getting bid up and up and up. And I was just kind of, bidding up and up and up myself. And it got to £500 plus, and it was ridiculous. It was just crazy money. So I had to kind of step back, and the other person got it. But they're aimed more towards collectors because they know the stuff that's worth, or which they can bung on as individual things, and then they will bundle everything else.
Yeah,
I've got some good bundles of stuff though from collector auctions for my own collection, which I didn't pay a huge amount for. And actually, I got a bundle of, I think, 5 LPs or something once, and they're worth upwards of £100 each.
Yeah.
And I got them for about 20-30 quid. So it's possible. Yeah. It is possible. But just bear that in mind for those. Yeah, so prices will be higher.
So is it about the good and the bad things that we've got now?
No, we've still got a couple of other things. So, the auction we go to, though, we get, they do have specific auctions.
Yeah.
So they have stuff for books, stuff for toys, stuff for art, sort of things like that. And then they have the general, which is the one we make a big line for. Because they will have a mixed bag of stuff, and it will be anything and everything. And it's great to just go and have a look through all that stuff, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Good to have a rummage.
Yeah. And you can zone in, like Jen was saying before, you can zone in and you can find stuff in those boxes that you didn't know was even in there because of the photos. So, and
you do get quite a lot of dealers going to these things, but each dealer is looking for something different. And we, as you've seen from our videos, we buy a wide range of stuff, don't we? So we're looking to make money on anything and everything. We're not just looking for, I don't know, the toys or the Denby pottery, or we will buy anything basically, as long as there's value in it and it's not illegal.
I mean, it is kind of, also it's one of those places where it's interesting to people watch, because I was once sort of hanging around to wait to look at a lot of stuff there. And there was this guy who basically was hogging it for at least, I would say, 10 minutes, because he was examining a spoon. So he was just stood there, like, looking at every minor detail of the spoon. But I don't even think it was worth very much, to be honest with you. But, so, yeah, there's a lot of people who know what they're looking for, and some people don't. So
yeah. And it's not always about the whole bundle, it's about that one item or those few items that going to make it worth your while. And we've had quite a few of those, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. So next thing. Weekly auctions are what we prefer. But be aware these might be a bit detritusy, is what I've written in my notes. So,
basically, you get a load of old crap sometimes, but there's a nugget of, not literally a nugget of gold and a nugget of poo. But, either way, you've got to sift through that. So you do end up with quite a lot of stuff that's charity, car boot sale. Yeah. There's a bit worth a couple of pounds, but not really worth messing about with on eBay and things like that.
Yeah. And these general sales can be extremely random as well. And you go there and you have a look at the boxes of stuff and you think, why would you put that in with a box of this stuff? She'll get a nice set of like cups and plates, and they'll throw in an old tennis racket. Yeah. That kind of thing. It'll just be so random like that. It just makes you laugh, really. You know, the random sort of.
I think they do it for a lot. I think there's a competition there who can put the most random bundle together.
Basically, yeah. But yeah, they can be a bit detritusy, and just be aware that some of the stuff that might be worth more might have some sort of imperfection, because what they're going to do is they're going to look at that for their main auctions, and they're going to go, hang on a minute, this isn't something that we can reasonably get a good price for, so let's bung it into the general auction and sell it with a load of other stuff or on its own. So just be mindful that when you are looking at these things, when you are viewing them, that you will need to be looking out for imperfections. I mean, I suppose to that effect, we went up a few weeks ago, and there was a couple of they were like little bowls, and they were seashell shaped.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't like them, did you?
They were hideous.
But they were worth quite a lot each. And there was 2 in this bundle, right? So I looked at one of them, and it was absolutely perfect. Not a single chip on it. It was absolutely fine. The other one smashed in half and re-glued.
Yeah.
So basically that kind of thing is what you do have to be careful of.
Yeah. And also, it might not be, what you buy might not be what they've said it is. Because you've had that before. They've said it was theatre programmes or something, didn't it?
Yeah.
And deeds, and it turned out to be
theatre programmes and deeds. No, it was auction catalogues.
Auction catalogues, sorry, yes.
Because
from Sotheby's, apparently.
The deeds that I then got just turned out to be a load of like old mortgage papers and stuff, and just some really random things, which actually was a bit of a hard sell, to be fair. But it was about a specific family from Norfolk. And we had a buyer who was interested, who bought it because this person was writing a book on the subject. So, you know, perfect buyer, isn't it, really? But the auction catalogues, they turned out to be just like random kind of yearbooks, local interest yearbooks and stuff like that, really. Yeah. It's just where they went wrong was they had previously been bought from, I think, Bonhams and Sotheby's. And so it had Bonhams and Sotheby's written on the envelope things that they were all stuffed into. And I think that's where they got that information from. Is the fronts of these envelopes, and it wasn't what was actually in the envelopes, you know.
Steve, I keep calling you Steve, don't I? Dave said that he only went to an auction once, and he got a car roof box for 20 quid and sold it for 150. See?
Yep, nice.
Brilliant, lovely.
Yep. Yeah, that's the way to do it. So Tommy has asked, ever auction snipe on eBay to then resell on eBay?
Yeah, I have done before. We used to have our own website selling vintage Action Man accessories and figures and all that kind of stuff. And I used to go on eBay, look at the auction specifically, and then snipe at the very last minute to get in there and get it for cheap, and then separate it all out, all the the bits and pieces, and sell them.
Yeah.
I haven't done it very often because eBay, when eBay first started, probably before you were born, Tommy, bless you.
Probably, yeah.
You're probably older than I think you are, but you could snipe and it would be absolutely brilliant. You get things so cheap, wouldn't you? But sniping seems to be a thing of the past now. People seem to put their bids in a bit earlier, and because it used to be all the action happened at the end of the auction, but I don't find that now. I don't know about you. I don't know what everyone else thinks about that.
Yeah, and I mean, I used to sort of about 10, 15 years ago snipe a lot of stuff that I wanted. So like iPods, show me age there, aren't I? iPods and all that kind of stuff. And the internet would be so slow that I would go to snipe and it wouldn't put my bid in, and the internet would be chugging away, I'd be turning the handle like an old bloody vintage car, and it just wouldn't do it. So yeah, Didn't
you have someone message you before?
Yeah. So back when eBay was not making people's IDs anonymous, so when it first started or within the first few years, I was bidding on, I think that was an iPod or something I wanted at the time. So I kept bidding, and then someone kept bidding, and then I kept bidding, and so on and so forth. And then I noticed I had a message in my inbox, so I went and clicked on it, and this person who was also bidding for this thing had put, "Stop bidding on something I want." So I bid some more and won it, obviously. So, bit of a funny story actually to do with how to, oh God, it'd be good if I put my false teeth in today, wouldn't it?
I know, really? I can't edit this out. I can normally edit this out and say all that waffling, but...
But a bit of a funny story, strange story as well, is we went to one of these general auctions and there was some ceramics and there was like trinket boxes and stuff. And I picked one up and I shook it and it rattled. And we were both stood there like, what the hell is that? Opened it up and there was some actual human teeth in it.
Mm-hmm.
So just bear that in mind as well. That sometimes the auction houses don't check stuff really thoroughly. I once found a tablet as well, didn't I? Not an iPad or something, but an actual tablet in. Again, I think that was something ceramic.
It's probably an old lady's pillbox.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I come up to you with it in my hand and I said, do you think I should let anyone know about this? Because I don't know what it is. And you looked at it and said it's a paracetamol. So it was like, yeah. My God, you know, it's not really what you expect, but you do get all sorts of stuff. I used to be a nurse, I'm not a drug
dealer.
Yeah.
Tommy's 28, bless him. I think eBay's been around for about 20 years.
Longer than that, I'd say.
I don't know, because I was on maternity leave about 20, 21 years. I don't know if anyone can tell us how old eBay is. But when I first started selling on there, people could send you a check.
Yeah,
and then once that had cleared, you
posted
your
banker's
thing out.
draft.
And Fluffy said they remember sending cash in the post.
Yeah.
Them were the days.
Yeah.
Or a postal order? I don't know if they still do such things now.
And talking about sniping, we were selling a bundle of stuff on eBay. So it was all the Detroit-y bits of action figures and accessories and stuff that was slightly more Detroit-y. And it did make us laugh because it was obviously a very low starting bid. It went for a reasonable amount in the end. And then obviously added the postage. And then I think you were looking through Vinted about a week later. And there was all of our Detroit-y stuff on Vinted, on this one person's account on Vinted for overinflated prices compared to what it actually was. And we did have to laugh at that. Yeah. It's just like... This is not a reselling bundle you're buying here, mate.
No, this is all our crap that we can't sell.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing you would buy for destructive grandchildren, realistically.
Or if you do modifications, figure mods or anything like that.
Yeah. So it wasn't really for that, I suppose.
eBay anniversary next year is 30 years. So how old... I might say how old we were when that came out.
No, don't please.
Came to the UK in 99. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, so anyway. Any more hints and tips before we move on to the stories we have of flip and flop?
If you've got because I know a lot of resellers, I don't know if you like me, but when I see something, even if I know nothing about it, I get this little feeling that it's going to be worth something.
In a Black Eyed Peas way. Yeah, yeah, don't copyright us, mate.
But when I see something, no matter what, if it's pottery or toys or whatever, I get a feeling, and 9 times out of 10, my gut feeling is right, isn't it? You have to admit.
Yes, yes, it is. Yeah,
and it's so just go with your gut, really. Stop taking the pick. I can't edit this. I can't put the swearing out.
But yeah, you do have a gut feeling about stuff sometimes. And as you go on throughout your reselling journey, the fact of the matter is, to use modern parlance, the fact of the matter is you will get that, gut feeling will get better with time, really.
The more knowledge you've got, it won't just be a gut feeling, it'll be, what do you call it, an educated guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not always that good, and sometimes you will have a bit of a fail, but in general, the more you do this, the longer you do this for, the more your gut feeling gets a bit better.
Yeah, but the amount of times we've got some really good stuff from our local auction, and every now and then we'll buy something and it'll be absolute awful rubbish. You'll be like, I'm never going with them again, but then we do. So don't be disheartened, don't give up.
And we did show you, I think, a few videos ago, probably quite a few videos now, about a random bag of Norwich City stuff.
Yeah.
And we've had that twice now happen with the auction house we go to. It was totally unexpected. Whether it was a case of it was user error or error on their side of things, it can happen. But sometimes that can go in your favour, to be honest with you, because the first time it happened, it didn't go in our favour. There wasn't that much in it, to be honest with you. I have still got some stuff for sale that was in that first bundle. But the Norwich City stuff really went in our favour.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't that much money. It was something like a fiver, obviously plus the fees, so under a tenner. And we have sold so much out of that.
We've done well over £100 on that.
Yeah, one DVD was worth 45 quid because it was so hard to get pre-owned. So sealed, like the one we got, was even more difficult.
Yeah. And
much more difficult.
That's a tip I've got. If something's cheap at auction and there's a load of it, buy it. Because you'll research it and you'll learn more about that specific topic. It might not be, the stuff's not worth it, but at least then you'll know what not to buy in the future. It might sound crazy, but that's how we've learnt about a lot of stuff, isn't it? Just from trial and error.
And obviously, like, as well, if you're going to view these things, is look the stuff up if you can. Just, you know, if you have some ceramics, for example, and you're turning them over and you don't really know what those maker's marks are, is just research on the spot. Just type it in to eBay and see what kinds of prices that you're looking at for certain things. See what because obviously with ceramics is different from electronics and all that, because electronics, if they're broken, you can sell them within reason. But with ceramics, it's different, because if they're chipped, if they're cracked, if they're broken in any way, it is far more difficult to shift them.
Yeah, they're basically worthless in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and what we do with ours is when we do get a crate from the auction, and we will put aside the really good stuff for Etsy, the not so good stuff for eBay, perhaps, because there might be some minor imperfections there to it, and then you get the really Detroit-y stuff that is totally knackered. And that stuff we end up sending to something local to us, which is the Rage Rooms, where people pay to smash it, basically.
You basically pay, they kit you out in all this protective gear, and then you get to choose your weapon, crowbars, baseball bats, and then you just smash the living hell out of all this stuff.
I actually have footage of me doing it, and I have footage of you doing it. And to be
I'm not
fair,
made for angry stuff.
I think I was in there because you get 15 minutes, don't you?
Yeah.
I was in there for my full 15 minutes, and I came out and I had smashed the absolute living granny out of the entire room. You had been in there for, I think, nearly 10, and you came out and you were tired, weren't you, by that point?
Yeah, and I don't have any rage, I think.
So I went in and finished her 15 minutes.
Because I was just kind of like, I didn't get any satisfaction out of it at all. I don't have any rage or any anger. Maybe one day I'll just go postal, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you'll store it all up for when the day comes. But, so anyway, so we'll round this off because we're coming up to nearly 45 minutes even. With a good auction purchase and a bad auction purchase, because let's face it, we're all going to have some of those.
Yeah.
And we're not going to gatekeep the fact that, you know, we're not going to say, to use modern parlance again, we're not going to gatekeep and say, you know what, we do have bad purchases, but we're not going to talk about them. We will talk about them anyway, because they do happen, don't they? But we'll go for a good one first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically the... a sticker book that we sold a few videos ago. I think we showed it.
Yeah.
And that was
from the 70s or 80s?
70s, 76. So it was called Pop 76, I think. And it was complete. So all these stickers, which were about, they weren't quite A5, but they were near enough. I think they were huge stickers. And they were all stuck in this book. And the person had obviously collected them, you know, throughout the late 70s, and they had finished the book, so that was good. The stickers themselves, brand new out the packet, could go for at least, I think it was 15 to 20 per sticker. So I think I put it on. I think I aimed rather high to begin with, to be honest with you, and then we got an offer eventually of 150 for a sticker book that came in a bundle for £6.
So no one would have looked twice at it, but this was me and my gut feeling, wasn't it? I thought, oh, that'll be worth something.
Did you get a gut feeling over something else in that box as well, though? That was what it hinged on.
I can't remember.
Yeah. But it was in amongst a load of other sort of just magazines, and I think there were some programmes.
Some teabag cards. It sounds
Brooke
rude,
Bond.
but it's not. Yeah, Brooke Bond cards that are absolutely worth nothing, but you managed to sell them somehow.
And another thing, another thing with these is, bear in mind, T cards aren't probably going to be worth that much, to be fair, probably not. And it is going to be hard to sell those. It is the cigarette cards that you want to be looking for. But then again, if you want to go down that avenue of selling research. Do your very best research before you start anything like that. Otherwise, you are going to end up with a lot of rubbish.
Yeah.
To be honest about that.
Yeah.
Yes, 150 quid for a sticker book, so not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Bad? What was bad?
So this is a slightly more recent thing that we got, and it was a Wii bundle. Now, everyone loves a console bundle, and we did stand there having a good look. We each did it. We stood there looking through, and we were pretty sure, we thought we were pretty sure that it was a goer. But unfortunately, I think we did focus, we got hyper-focused a bit on the stuff that we really wanted to be checking over.
Yeah.
And we might have kind of accidentally missed some of the other stuff that we weren't so keen on. And it was hell to shift that stuff.
Is that where we got that guitar from that's still sitting over there?
There's a guitar, and the battery compartment has
Guitar Hero.
Complete with, what did I say?
No, I said
Just
guitar, but I didn't
okay.
say it was Guitar Hero.
So it's it's not, I don't think it's official Guitar Hero, it's called a Kramer. Yeah, anyway, so whatever. And the battery compartment, it still had the batteries in it and they'd exploded. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, we can clean that, we can clean it up.
Give it a try.
But it is stuff like that, and like, which one? Which guitar? Oh, let me show you. Let me get it for you, because seeing is believing, maybe.
I'm epic at Guitar Hero. If anyone wants a Guitar Hero battle.
I'm absolutely shoddy as sugar. So anyway, it is indeed a Kramer. It's really dusty because it's just been sat round. But yeah, Kramer.
I have no idea. How do we know what console it's for, Tommy?
How do we know?
What, don't touch
we
that because it's got all...
And as you can see, basically, like the battery acid is starting to kind of, well, it made its way out. The PS2 original Guitar Hero game.
We'll swap it for all your Action Man stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So anyway, yeah, the battery acid has started to put in an appearance, and that would need a thorough clean.
Yeah.
But the actual console...
didn't work, did it?
No, didn't work. No, that didn't work
The games
either.
were scratched.
The good thing about it was, though, that I was actually able to, because at the time we also had the console bundle from the auction house, and I was able to just kind of like match things up with that stuff. So it didn't completely go to waste, but it just more or less became a spares bundle. So I was then having to kind of, scrape as much from this bundle as I possibly could to put with the good stuff. There was also the Shaun White snowboarding, I think it's called. The game wasn't in the case. That game isn't worth very much either, I don't think, anyway. But there was a Shaun White snowboard with it. So the controller for the game. And that also was completely wrecked. The battery compartment, I'm not kidding you, that one has got battery acid. The one that we had, I mean, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
It was so absolutely gone. It was beyond gone.
Yeah.
And I know you said to me, can you not clean it up? And I thought, as long as I have a hazmat suit, I can clean this up. It would look honestly, it was atrocious. Anyway, but let's go to the comments, shall we? Let's finally go to the comments. So what's the rest of your day looking like after this?
Work. Is that Rihanna?
Yeah, probably.
Listing, organising.
Yeah, we're inventorying at the moment, to be fair, and so I think some of the afternoon is going to be dedicated to consolidating.
Yeah, we're
as
taking
well.
a leaf out of your book, Tommy,
Yeah.
and consolidating.
I've got a load of stuff that we, because did we put a video out on Monday about the consolidating? We didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah, so on Monday you saw that we were starting to consolidate, and I still have some ceramics to go on Etsy. So that's the outcome of that one.
Dave said that he found some homemade Polaroids in a deep purple album of a couple having a bit of How's Your Father. Wife caught me WhatsApping the pictures to mates and went mad. Very good.
Oh my God. Yeah, I recently got like a light viewer thing, and basically it had some slides with it, and there's me like looking through, because it was natural light, so you get some which you put batteries in and there's a bulb that lights them up, but it was a natural light view. So I put these slides in and I was like, oh god. Okay.
Yeah, because you never know, do you?
But luckily it just turned out to be family holidays, people in pubs back in the 70s by the look of it, and so it was fine. But yeah, it is a risk, isn't it? We sometimes pick up bundles from the auction which are cassettes and videotapes, and you think, I really don't want to listen to these or watch these, because you
never know what's going to be on.
It might be really creepy. Yeah. Even if it's just somebody else talking, that person might not be here, and it might just be eerie. Yeah. So, trap the plushes in the tubs.
Yeah. If anyone wants any plushes for 20% off on our eBay store, go, 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 go.
Yeah, quick.
Tommy says, I grabbed a cardboard box from someone's recycling the other day, and inside the box was a booklet of 53 X tokens. They had handwritten them. So, sexy tokens, basically.
What's a sexy token when it's at home?
Like your little, like a little thing that you'd write to your partner, like, I will give you this, and then they can redeem it.
Like a saucy dice, but
saucy dice kind of thing.
Like a saucy voucher. So Vinyl Guardian says, it used to upset me when I worked at the recycling centre and the house clearance guys were throwing family photos away.
Yeah, that is really sad, isn't it?
Because it's almost like they are destroying somebody's memory. Yeah. In a sense, which, I mean, this is now this kind of live has taken a kind of very macabre downward spiral, hasn't it? But yeah, it is a bit, isn't it?
It's, and a lot of the time with the house clearance stuff, you are buying people's stuff that aren't here anymore, or have gone into homes or whatever. So you are buying people's memories. So, what to us might be like, oh, that's crap, that isn't worth anything. You've got to remember, it is someone's, possessions and their life, really. So you do have to respect that.
And another thing about buying from auctions, there's going to be a lot of house clearancey type stuff that is going to be from people's homes when they were living, in their houses, and a lot of stuff was cleared out after they died. So just bear that in mind, that you are probably going to be finding stuff in there which, to be fair to them, held a lot of value, and it's kind of respecting, isn't it, as well, is that, this isn't just, it might look crap to us, but to them it meant something, and okay, well, we'll end on this story. Should we tell about the haunted trinket box?
Oh, go on, you tell yours, so you tell about that.
Okay, so we found this trinket box in amongst a load of just what I would describe as gumph, if that's a word. And I think you found it, actually. And you sat there and you opened it up and you went, I don't know what I've just found. Anyway, I went over and it was basically like, it was a lot of stuff that was more, I suppose, spirituality, that kind of thing. So there was an evil eye stone, which is basically like a blue stone. It's an amulet, I think, so it had a bit of string attached. But it was like a blue stone and it has an eye painted on it. Yeah. And they're called evil eye. And I think they're meant to ward off evil. They're meant to kind of watch over you, ward off evil. That's what they believe. And then there was like an old jacket pin, which was Second World War, and it was Austrian, so it probably, it kind of felt a bit, I don't know, Germany, shall we say. So there was that kind of thing. And then there was a little dead seahorse that was dried out, and there was a coin. It was a sixpence. Yeah. And a sixpence is seen as lucky, lucky sixpence, all that. And then the seahorse is meant to, I think, protect and ward off evil, that kind of thing.
Yeah, dried out seahorse.
Yeah, dried out seahorse. And going through it, mine started running riot about what this could mean. Is this the stuff that's meant to protect someone, protecting over the owner of the jacket pin?
There was a little newspaper clipping in there as well, wasn't there, with it? That was quite spooky. I can't remember what it said now.
I can't remember now. But basically I took to Reddit. Now, obviously, if you know anything about Reddit... Sorry, hang on. No, my chair's on that. So basically, if you know anything about Reddit, right, you are going to get people who are going to answer you sensibly, because they know not everyone knows the stuff they do. But you are going to get people who tear you to shreds anyway. So I posted this stuff and was like, does anyone know what this means? And I put it in the witchcraft section, to which somebody replied, "You found a goblin's treasure, dear." And it turned out it was just basically, what it was little things that somebody had collected together. And it's called divining or something like that. So basically you pick them all up and then you're meant to throw them down, and then you see where they land, and you're meant to be able to read it like you do tea leaves or something like that. And that supposedly is what it's meant for, because someone did actually give me a straight answer eventually. Yes, but it was a bit spooky. I'll give you that. It was a little bit spooky. And trouble is, minds can play tricks, and
yeah, we love a bit of spooky stuff as well, don't we?
Can read a bit too much into these things, I think. Big in Greece. Apparently they're kind of Middle Eastern, actually, these evil eye things. So I found out, I think. You can buy them on Amazon, honestly. They're about like £5 or something.
They're probably more touristy on Amazon, aren't they? But
they're touristy anyway, apparently. Because somebody on Reddit did say it was touristy.
But my mum's got one in her living room hanging off the fireplace. So
yeah. Yeah, I know, and they're a bit spooky looking. So Tommy says they do it in Pirates of the Caribbean too. Calypso throws the stuff, a touch of destiny. Yeah, so you kind of throw the stuff and see where it lands, and you read from it what you will. Yeah.
So that's I suppose that's us. There is there's not going to be a live next Wednesday because we are gallivanting in London. We're going to see the Libertines in London. The band, not
on one of the nights they're appearing, so you know.
Yeah, on one of the nights.
On one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
are we going to do one on Monday instead?
We could do one on Monday, so there won't be a normal video, normal for us anyway. So we'll have a normal one on Friday, which I believe will be sort of a bit of a charity shop kind of stuff.
We did go charity shopping with Nick and Andrea Hills yesterday. And it felt like going out with like a couple of Yodas, because they are the masters.
Yeah.
They just were drawn to everything in these charity shops, and you know you could only just watch on in amazement, really. But we did film. They'll be putting a video out at some point, and we'll do ours at some point as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So there will be a normal video on Friday, and then next Monday we can keep alive. Keep alive. So I was just reading a comment, and I read the word in that, and then come back and said it out loud. So we will be doing a live on Monday at 12. Yeah. At 12. So we could do another poll over the weekend.
Yeah.
But however, you know, rather than doing one of those, if you do have any comments about what you actually really think that we could talk about that we haven't covered at all, as long as obviously you keep it clean, we're not going to be talking about any sort of, you know, like, I don't know, digestive system issues or anything like that. Medical issues, stuff like that. But, you know, so, yeah, random. But, like, sorry, that completely threw me off then. So, yeah, if you have any comments about stuff that we could talk about, then that would be really good, actually.
Yeah. Because we never know what to talk about, and we just kind of waffle. We've only got 13 viewers today. We normally have about 20. I mean, we value each and every one of you. But maybe people don't love us anymore.
Oh, my God. Can you feel the manipulation?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so if you do have any...
medical conditions would be ace.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we can always print out doctors' letters and stuff, can't we? And read them out loud. Yeah. We can read out hospital numbers.
I can give you a rectal exam. We'll save that for our OnlyFans.
What was it you said a minute ago? What? I think equally applies to that.
I've been so well behaved for 55 minutes. Come on.
Oh, God. You have to get at least one rectum into every video. That'll be the OnlyFans again.
Tommy says, go through a bundle of stuff and show us how you look stuff up and price it, etc. We could do that.
How we research?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be quite an interesting one, I suppose. And there is different ways of researching different things because there's different, like, you know, things out there, like websites and all that kind of stuff. I mean, not being funny, I don't know whether you agree with this, but if we were doing this sort of thing 25 years ago, it would be so much harder to do.
Yeah.
Not just because of the internet. Hang on, there goes Echo.
This is a reminder. Schedule.
Not just because the internet now is a lot better than it used to be, but the fact is, shut up, Echo. The fact is that it would be so much harder to research the stuff. Because can you imagine having to nip up the library every 5 minutes?
Yeah, I'm just going to get this book and then
things.
photocopy these pages.
Yeah.
What would we all do without Google Lens?
What would we do without Google?
We didn't know about Google
anything
Lens
else.
until my son Leo told us about it after
Yeah.
we'd been doing it for a few months.
And I think that was to do with Lego figures, because if you get a Lego torso or whatever, you can scan it into Google Lens. You can take a photo of it, and it will give you the search results for what it is, and you can always then go straight to exactly what it is. So it's a really handy thing to have. If you don't know about it, honestly, and you're reselling, then try it out because it's a game changer. Leo says you're welcome.
Yeah, it is like show and tell, isn't it? And we all learn together. That's.
Should we take one more question just before
last question.
Before we go. Basically, I'd like so Donna has said, I'd like to know more about selling on Etsy. Is the cost worth it, etc.?
See, I do the majority of the Etsy, don't I? Or have, but you've now started doing stuff as well. It's definitely worth the cost, but I wouldn't rely on Etsy for your main income. I have it as a side kind of thing to eBay or wherever else you're selling, because the sales, when they do come in, you do get more for stuff on Etsy than you would on eBay, but they're few and far between, aren't they? Yeah. We get 3 or 4 sales on Etsy a week normally. So we do, like we had a really good one the other day, and it was £90 or something.
Yeah, 85 quid that
and
was.
And it was an item that had been on eBay for months and months without, selling.
And just bear in mind, the same applies to eBay, is the quantity of stuff that you've got listed isn't everything if the quality isn't exceptional.
Yeah.
Well, I say exceptional isn't good, basically. So it is quality over quantity a lot of the time. And if you have stuff that isn't perhaps as great quality-wise, is bundle it up and see whether that shifts that way. But Etsy, I would say is worth it, but you can't rely solely on that for your sales, to be honest.
That's just our opinion. Obviously, we've got about 200 items on there, I think.
Probably not that much yet, about 100.
Oh, about 100.
Yeah.
So we haven't got a massive amount on there.
Yeah.
So it might be that you put, if people who've got bigger shops sell more often. But I think speaking to Andrew agrees that, you get a few sales rather than quite a few that you get on eBay.
And going back to some auctions being for collectors, realistically, Etsy is the place where people are looking for the quality. So, you do have to kind of pick and choose what you do list on there, really. And also watch out for your postage, because you can set it so you've got free postage for the UK and the rest of the world, or just do free postage for one and not the other, or you can set it to just send to the UK. We have got it set at the moment, so we post within the UK and we post to the rest of the world. Yeah. But the only issue with that is if you post to the rest of the world, you are paying for the postage. Yeah. And if you charge, because postage with raw mail, it fluctuates. So it fluctuates according to generally the weight of stuff. So if you are sending abroad, you are going to potentially be charged more than you've actually got international postage set up for.
Yes, so be very careful with that.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's answered your question, Donna.
Yes. Yeah, hopefully that's a bit of advice.
Yeah. But thank you all for joining us. It's been very enjoyable.
Yes.
And we'll hopefully see you all on Monday.
Yeah.
Tommy does a live on Monday morning, don't you, Tommy, normally? So we can do it around 12.
We'll do it 12. We'll do it 12.
Yeah. And if you can send all your people our way, Tommy, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, we'll stick to 12 o'clock. I didn't say the red word then. We'll stick to 12 o'clock because I think people liked that, didn't they? Yeah. So,
like, subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yes.
Yeah, thanks for joining us and chattering away and all that kind of
we
stuff.
do hope that you like the new format of what we're doing, where we have a topic rather than just a whittering session.
Yeah.
Although whittering sessions are very amusing, we'd like to have a topic, really, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
There'll be
Yep.
and there'll be and we'll have a video out on Friday
Yep.
as usual, which will just be
Us.
us showing you what we've sold, basically.
So we're off to have a lunch, and so yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
Take care.
Pretty much.
Hope everyone has lots of sales.
Yes. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.